Tech Turks. Today I have Olawale Adebiyi of WeCyclers. WeCyclers is a social enterprise that is helping people capture value from their waste. Seems very interesting. Wale, thank you for coming on Tech Turks.
Thank you for having me.
WeCyclers. And I would like to hear the story. What were you doing before you started WeCyclers and why?
Okay. So I actually didn't start WeCyclers. It was started by my sister, Olawale Adebiyi Abiola, and she started in 2012. She was actually at MIT doing an MBA at Sloan MIT, and she just was in a class talking about people that lived at the bottom of the pyramid and were earning less than $1 a day. And pretty much every time somebody came and talked about what they were doing to help this situation, were mostly people that were not from those places, particularly Africa. So pretty much she decided to come back to Nigeria after she graduated and work on waste, because that was the biggest thing that we were facing with, and we still are today.
Yeah.
So she really wanted to do a test and to see how it worked. So they started out with just one bicycle and one worker, and they went to communities and tested the concept by just giving people paper, giving people some housing items like soap, and pretty much once people started actually seeing that they actually get real tangible benefits, it quickly grew. And now we are doing exclusively cash. So essentially we've created a situation where people can really capture money out of waste.
And how do you connect? So it's connecting the guy that picks it up, the household, and the people that are going to recycle it and use it. For example, the topical issue, plastic, which is is being used and it's just being thrown into the water, into the ocean.
Yeah. So it's a big thing that we actually feel that is our biggest value, is that we create that supply chain. Because it didn't exist. Before, you see scavengers picking trash from the dumpsters, or they go to the streets and they go pick it and they sell. But there are actually people that buy these materials and make items from them. So there are people that make clothing from plastics.
Really?
There are people that make, and you mentioned that people that make, building materials from plastics. So there's a lot of different, applications for these plastics. But the problem that those individuals or those companies have is that they don't have the access to large volumes because they have to rely on this different fragmented supply. So what we've done, WeCyclers really has introduced technology. So we have a platform that we use to manage our customers. And we primarily go to low-income communities, because what we found is that they are forced to live within their waste. They don't have a way to get rid of it. So what we've done is give them an opportunity to actually capture value from that waste that they are stuck in. So they take the plastics, they take the paper, cardboard, which takes the most volume, and then we pay them for it. And we have a platform to manage all that. And then we actually have collectors that work for WeCyclers that go to these households. So it's like a door-to-door collection service. And then WeCyclers takes the material, we process it, we bale it, we sort it, we make sure it's value added, and then we sell it for money. So that money that we use to generate revenue is what we actually pay for these recyclables. So we are creating really a supply chain, and we're actually giving them money.
A closed loop, in fact.
Correct. It's a closed loop.
It's a closed loop, yes.
Those guys are taking the material, they're making products out of it. And the most ideal situation, which we're actually developing now, is where companies that want to develop bottle-to-bottle recycling, so they're taking plastic bottles and making new plastic bottles. So you don't have to be going into
new manufacturing,
new virgin material.
How do you keep tabs of them? I know you said you introduced technology.
Yes.
So how do you keep tabs of them? How do you stay connected to them? That's a better word. Yeah.
That's very important. I think that's something that has helped us be where we are today, because as we've grown in volume, we have over 20,000 subscribers today, and we couldn't manage them by paper or even a spreadsheet.
You have 20,000 subscribers that are actually picking up stuff?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, we have 20,000, over 20,000.
In which state?
Just in Lagos.
Lagos. Yeah.
And pretty much what we did from day one is we developed a database, a platform that is SMS enabled. So what happens is we have an app, so our riders go to the household and they weigh the material and they punch into the app, and the app sends the information directly to our platform. So if you're a customer, you have customer number, your phone number, your address is on our platform, and we know when we came to your house, how much we collected. So we're able to track down to the specific amount of recyclables.
So if I wanted to collect refuse from my house, you could do that?
Yes.
I'm going to sign up.
Yeah, we'd love to have you as a customer. One of the biggest challenges we have is just logistics. To be fair, plastics are light, and they don't have, but they're not very dense, so it's very expensive to move them around. Yeah. And that's probably one of the biggest obstacles to scaling this type of business. But in terms of managing our customers and giving them the value, it's something that has worked really well.
From the data that you've collected, what is the average breakdown. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've actually studied that a lot, and even this waste management has also given studies on the same issue. So we have a lot of organic waste in Nigeria because we consume a lot of organic material. So over 50% is organic. Plastics and other plastics, general plastics, about 15% of the waste stream. And then you have metals that make up about, say, 20-30%. Yeah, because
like when we say metal, like aluminum, tins,
and steel,
okay.
Because they're very bulky.
Yeah.
And then you have paper and cardboard that kind of make up the balance, glass too. But plastics, approximately 15% of the total waste that we generate by weight, not by volume.
By weight, okay.
By weight.
Oh, okay, that's a lot then.
Yeah, and then volume-wise is more than 50%. Yeah. It's much more.
So you have people who use plastics definitely as raw material for paper.
Yes.
Glass.
Yes.
And metal. So everything is recyclable.
100%. Everything we collect, we recycle.
Everything is recyclable.
100%. Waste is a gold mine.
It is, yeah.
It's really a gold mine. It's just that we just haven't mined it yet.
Especially when we're talking about, people keep talking about foreign currency, and I mean, why don't you just get foreign currency to actually invest in more recyclable machines or infrastructure?
Absolutely. I mean, and it's something that you can export. I mean, we export a lot of aluminum waste out of Nigeria, correct? A lot of the aluminum cans that we get consumed get exported out. A lot of metals get exported out. Plastics.
What about these steel factories that we have like dotted around in Nigeria? Do they actually?
They take some.
They take some of them, right?
Yeah,
or the ingot, yeah.
Yeah, but they're small, so we don't have a huge steel making capacity locally. So there's still a lot of still going out and being
very
exported. It's not enough to meet the demand.
So what is a typical plastics recycling plant? What is the requirement for land, for example, and infrastructure?
Yep. So we are actually looking at something right now. So it depends on what type of recycling you're doing, but the most important and the most applicable for us now is a bottle-to-bottle recycling plant. So that companies like that make bottles or that sell bottles can put that into their bottles and lower our virgin. And basically, you need about maybe 12,000 square meters, about an acre and a half or two, for land size, and then the facility will require ability to shred the plastics, to cut it into small pieces, to be able to wash it. The total capex for that is probably about 7 million euros, maybe 8 million euros, but the size is not huge.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like 2 acres. Yeah. Warehouse style building that can just protect the machinery that we're using, and then be able to make those pellets.
Yes, we take it back to those pellets.
Yeah, making the small resin, exactly. Yeah. So that's, I would say, all in maybe 10 million euros for a similar plant.
What's the next stage for WeCyclers beyond scaling and going downstream?
I think we really see an opportunity for helping financial inclusion. Because when we started the company, it was poverty alleviation, and we've seen there's so many examples of people that are making a lot of money from this. So there's a woman, we call her Daniel, and she's very, she was a trader on the street, and she was just making maybe 10,000 naira a month. And she found out about WeCyclers and started bringing us plastics. And she by herself, she's bringing us 1 ton a week. And she made, in 3 months, about 250,000 naira.
That's
and so, that was life-changing money for her. She had never made that much money in her life before. And
how come not many people know about this?
Yeah, and that's one of the challenges.
Yes,
if everyone knows about it, we will drown in plastics.
Yes.
Actually, we're literally drowning in plastics right now. And it's a good thing because I'm not complaining, but the more people that know about this, I mean, it's an opportunity to benefit a huge amount of people. So what we see is an opportunity to get more people financially included. So we partner with banks to offer these debit cards. So she, for the first time, got a debit card, and then that money was put into that debit card, and she can actually save money now. So that's really what we're putting a lot of energy towards, is trying to create instruments that will allow people to be financially included and actually be able to save money. A lot of these people don't have the ability to save money, and we are very reluctant to just be transactional with the plastic. So if you bring plastic, we give you money right away. Because what happens is they take the money and then spend it to something that they don't necessarily need. So it's very important for us to really get that financial inclusion aspect.
Thank you very much for coming to Tech Talks.
Thank you very much.
It was great to hear your story, and we'll continue the conversation offline.
Thank you so much.